What's up, Brotherhood channel? It's me, Kai, again. I know I kind of show up sporadically on the channel, so I apologize for that. Just life, school, therapy. It's like 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach growling. I just heard it, so I don't know if you could hear that, but I heard it, so that's why, yeah. But that being said, I'm just going to kind of hop right into this week's topic. This week's topic was changes in healthcare and trans rights, and I watched both of the videos that were uploaded already this week. If you haven't, you definitely should, because they say some really great stuff that I probably can't bring you, because one, I want to say, first of all, like, healthcare as, like, the system, like, the government and Obamacare and, like, jobs and all that stuff, like, the actual, like, system of healthcare, I know nothing about, never had a job, don't know how to adult, and as a 22-year-old, that's kind of scary, because without my parents, honestly, I would be completely lost. I don't know what I would do. And I really need to learn some stuff about that stuff, because it's crazy. There's a reason why I might not know as much about that stuff as I should, but that's a different story for a different time. Basically, I just want to straight up front tell you I can't really say much about changes in healthcare, like the system for trans people, because I don't know how it currently even works, really. I know that things aren't covered that should be covered. That's about the extent of what I know, and I wish that could change, but I don't know how exactly all that works or anything, so I really can't say much about that. But what I can say something about is, like, health care, as in the care we get for our health. Obviously, I've been to the hospital, I go to the doctor, and all that stuff, so I did want to comment on that. The one little thing I wanted to say about healthcare, about the care I've gotten as a transgender person, the care trans people get for their health. It can improve in many ways, yes, but the one thing I'm going to focus on, very small thing, which I've made a whole video on this on my channel about the issue I find when it comes to filling out forms, but it still, like, kind of amazes me, like, it kind of doesn't, and it kind of does, how there just hasn't been really big changes in that. Like, of course it doesn't surprise me, because it's a very, we're very binary world, well, very binary country, starting small, but just a very binary society, and all that, so it doesn't surprise me in that regard. But on the other hand, it seems to me like such a small thing that could be so easy. I'm gonna stop beating around the bush. Just these forms, when you have to say, like, they say sex and it says male or female, or it says gender, male or female, and I feel sometimes these are used interchangeably. I've run into the issue a lot of times when I see these, even if it says sex, I want to tell them that, like, I still have internally female parts. I think that's important, especially when I'm dealing with a doctor, but circling female feels weird, because, you know, my outward appearance, it also feels like I'm denying my identity. I really wish, and I feel like it feels weird, because on one hand I feel like I'm asking for a lot, and for me, I've always been the one, I don't want to, like, cause inconvenience, I don't want to ask for too much, but on the other hand, I'm like, it seems like a pretty small thing, I think. Would it be too hard to just, like, put sex and gender on these forms, to have them two separate things so that people can distinguish? Or even just, I mean, what if someone's intersex, like, what do they do? Could there be, like, more options? Could there even be, like, an extra option where it says please inquire, or, like, you can, so that they know something's up, but you don't even have to give all this information on this form? Like, just something so that there can be a way to more comfortably, because I can't tell you how many times I'm going to fill out a form and I look at my mom and I say, do I circle male or female here, because those are the only options, and I don't really feel like I fit perfectly into either one, especially when they're just asking, like, one question, like sex, some forms really do have these. I've seen some forms have this gender identity question or this pronouns question, which really, I love that. It's so helpful. But the majority, especially in the medical field, I've found, like doctor's office, hospitals, dentists, all those kinds of things, they don't have these options that seem to me like, even though we might be the minority, people, intersex, transgender people, like, I think that, like, it asks all these other questions that it asks if I have ever had kidney problems, heart problems, like, I can say no to all those, so, like, and I can ignore all those questions, so would it be so hard for a cisgender person to just fill out an extra, like, gender too, like, even though they have to put male for both or female for both, like there's people who wouldn't, so would it not, like, I hope I'm making sense, but to me it's just crazy because it seems like that's such a small little thing. Like, could we just have a few more options there? That's all, like, could there be an intersex option in the sex group? Could there be an other option where you can write it in? Could there be a second option where it's not just asking sex? If they ask sex and gender, I'd be perfectly comfortable. And this is just personally me, I'm not talking for anyone else, but me, I would be perfectly comfortable circling female and then male, if it was sex and gender, because I feel like I'm explaining both important sides of my identity and things they might need to know, and things that won't make it, like, if I circle female, someone might look at it and be not understand, like, that's me, or like that I even did it right. Like, they might think I circled the wrong one. Like, there's so many possibilities where I just feel like there should be more options, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if people agree, but that's kind of where my thought process has been with that, and I feel like that's such a small little change in healthcare that could be made, and I don't see it enough in my opinion. I just feel like that would make things a little bit easier for a good amount of people, like, if there are just more options on those forms. Secondly, before this video gets too long, moving on to trans rights, there's so much that I could say about trans rights. I'm just going to kind of focus on a few things and kind of explain what I'm actually doing in school and trying to, like, figure out in school right now to hopefully work for the improvement of that stuff. Recently, in my school, in my college, I've switched my major to integrative studies, and I've been trying to figure out, like, integrative studies is basically you can pick 3 majors and kind of, like, combine them, and you take a certain amount of classes in each major to equal out to, like, the same amount as one major. And I've been trying to kind of figure out what 3 majors I want to kind of put together, because I really want to work in, like, human rights and advocacy and just, like, that kind of stuff. Maybe some nonprofit organizations trying to get change, mainly in the mental health areas, the LGBT community, and the criminal justice system, and especially where all those connect. So basically, what I've kind of decided at this point is I think I'm going to do psychology, criminal justice, and political science as my 3 main majors, and LGBT studies as my minor, and my hope is I can put these all together to kind of work to get better services for trans people, better, I know a lot of transgender people, when it comes to incarceration, a lot of trans women are put in very dangerous and unsafe situations. Dangerous, unsafe, the same, but very not okay situations. I want changes in that. Cases dealing with transgender defendants or victims or anything, just, I really want better systems and better programs for these different areas. The mental health system, I want better awareness and less stigma. That's something I hope for. All that, like, more support for LGBTQ youth, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really hoping to kind of find a group of classes that I can put together that will kind of result in getting a good amount of knowledge and being able to do some stuff for the improvement in these different areas. But I'm still kind of figuring that all out. That's why it's kind of hard to explain it all, because I'm still kind of figuring it all out and figuring exactly the direction I want to go in with all that. But I'm really hoping to get some changes happening, and I hope to be a part of that, because it's really important to me. And so I'm very early into this new major in this new direction, but I'm excited for it, and I hope to learn more as I go and figure it out more as I go exactly what I want to do. But I really hope to see and maybe be a part of some big changes in trans rights and healthcare and mental health care and all that. So, alright, guys. I hope to be back soon. I don't know exactly how the schedule is going to work, or how my schedule is going to work, or how the channel schedule is going to work, but hopefully I will be back very soon. Yeah, love you all, and stay strong, stay safe, stay you.